This is the true nature of my work. So it's a region where the intersection of political instability, terrorism, and resource exploitation, let's really just talk about these impactful strides that they've been making currently and what more we should expect from them. At just 34 years old, I believe is the youngest sitting president in Africa. This is what I'm proudly advocating for each and every single day. Let me make something clear, right? Crystal clear. The future is not in America. Happy Monday, diaspora. So Africa as a whole is a global magnet right now. In my opinion, it has always been, but the continent is seriously under a serious microscope this time around. And this time around, it's because of the unapologetic, bold changes that have been occurring within the Sahel States of Africa. All this coming up on today's show with no bias, no lies, real Vim, Real Kasa. Hey viewers, if you're looking for some amazing West African cuisines in New Jersey, visit Legit African Touch at 52 Ferry Street, South River, New Jersey. Mama's Secret, only continental dishes, preferably Ghanaian or Nigerian dishes, all in Legit African Touch. Get a feel of the African touch now. Diaspora. Despite the wars that have been occurring in Africa, there's been a serious uproar in Africa. An impactful uproar that is honestly shaking the West in their boots, a little bit, honestly. A positive uproar led by no one else but our Mr. African President, Ibrahim Traoré. Now, I haven't gone into much depth yet about the younger generation of political leaders on this show and advocates who are rising up across Africa, but I'm genuinely excited for what the coming decades holds. Even those who aren't in the presidential seat yet, I'm truly hopeful for what they bring to the table. I will go more into depth about that in future episodes, but anyways, Ibrahim Traoré, man, oh man, he stands as a true beacon of pride for Africa. When we say a true leader within this generation that can put Africa on its back and lead, he is the one. Mali's interim president and military leader, Assimi Goita, also stands among one of Africa's current leaders who I trust can make more great strides towards Africa's true liberation in connection to President Traoré. So let's not take too much time. I really want to go into this. Let's really just talk about these impactful strides that they have been making currently and what more we should expect from them. So now for those who may not be familiar, the Sahel States of Africa are a region that spans across the continent midsection, from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Red Sea in the east. This area, which includes countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad, has long been a hot pot for both conflict and international interest in the past due to its strategic location and valuable resources in that area. So it's a region where the intersection of political instability, terrorism, and resource exploitation has created a perfect storm for social and economic chaos. It's really where it all meets. But the new wave of leadership spearheaded by Traoré and Goita is making waves in this region. It's making waves in the diaspora. We're all hearing about it. We're all talking about it. We all see what's coming. They're pushing for greater regional cooperation, challenging the influence of foreign powers and seeking more sovereignty for their countries, rejecting the status quo that's kept Africa under the thumb of outside forces for so long. Recently, an article published by AP News in the month of January reads, Mali seizes 3 tons of gold from Canadian company Barrick amid dispute over shared revenue. This gold, however, is worth between $180 million and $245 million, just so you guys know. This company, Barrick, right, is actually the world's second largest gold producer. Now, Mali is one of Africa's leading gold producers, but it has struggled for years with jihadi violence and high levels of poverty and hunger. You can't tell me how can a country as naturally rich as Mali become full of poverty? You see the continuous exploitation of resources, then companies like Barrick refuse to pay their dues to the country in which they're getting their gold from. President and Military General Assimi, he has stood up to this. He has seriously stood up to this and has put his country first, making sure they get everything owed to them now. This is a true leader. The people first. Now, Burkina's President Traoré has done the same and more. At just 34 years old, I believe is the youngest sitting president in Africa, has done just a phenomenal job and has become a symbol, you know, at just 34, a symbol of hope and resistance for Africa. Since taking power in Burkina Faso, he has called for an end to foreign military presence, particularly the French forces, and has taken steps to strengthen ties with other African nations, focusing on collective self-reliance. President Traoré has paid off $4.7 million in debt to the West after taking all control of gold mining in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is now producing their own gold bars. This is truly significant. For us to be now producing our own fully, gold bars and really utilizing that in order to pay off our debt, in order to build ourselves, is exactly what we want for the rest of Africa. This is exactly what we've been wanting for everyone. And similarly, Assimi Goita in Mali has been championing this same idea of African solutions to African problems, pulling his country away from its dependence on former colonial powers. You can see that we're pulling more and more away from the neocolonialism, and forging stronger alliances with neighboring nations. Both leaders have also called for more control over the region's abundance of resources, ensuring that they benefit the African people first, not foreign corporations or governments. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm proudly advocating for each and every single day. An Africa such as this, a bold Africa, an Africa that takes back control. These two men, along with others in Sahel, are showing what's possible when you prioritize your people over political convenience. And that's why I'm so excited for what's to come. That's why I'm so excited for Burkina Faso and Mali and the Sahel States. Now, these are the type of African leaders I truly want to highlight. These are the true African leaders I have the true tenacity to discuss and debate about. Not Ruto, not Tinubu, not Tshisekedi. However, we can't talk about Africa without mentioning the impacts, negative or positive, of these individuals. We also cannot talk about Africa without foolishness. We can't talk about Africa without talking about the foolishness that we continue to do day in, day out, fighting against each other, backbiting each other. This is the true nature of my work, in which I take full pride in. We relay the facts. We advocate. We tell the truth. Let me make something clear, right? Crystal clear. The future is not in America. I want the diaspora to really hear this and hear this clearly, right? The future is not in America. People often, right, talk about the American dream. But let me tell you that the real future is Africa and its global diaspora. It's Africa and its global diaspora that is willing to come back to it. The potential is undeniable. We're witnessing history right now in real time, Real Kasa, with these leaders. And the next few years could reshape the future of Africa. Diaspora, this is your time. This is your time to step up and invest in the continent. The West might have been slow to recognize it, but the truth is they've seen the shift. There's a shift happening. China's hands are in Africa. Russia's shaking hands with us and trying to make moves. And even former colonial powers like France are realizing the power shift. Why? Because Africa is no longer asking for permission. Africa is taking control. Leaders like Traoré and Goita are pushing for more autonomy, sovereignty, and economic independence for Africa. And that's a game changer. Because the Africa of tomorrow is being built today, and it's being led by people like Ibrahim Traoré and Assimi Goita, who are Africa's first and African wealth first, the future is not in America. The future is undeniably so just prosperous for Africa. The future is Africa and abroad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was great talking with you. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Be blessed, be vigilant, and stay tuned for the next episode on The Real Kasa Show. What up, viewers of The Real Kasa Show? Make sure to follow The Real Kasa Show on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. Real Kasa Show, Mondays at 9 p.m. always.